Hi and welcome to all the racing viewers around the world joining us for this pre-recorded show, and we are recording early doors on Wednesday morning for the Friday night meeting, Friday the 31st of January, and then we'll be into February, so time's absolutely flying by. There's nothing like spur of the moment stuff. So let's get straight into the meat of it. The first race is due off at 16:45 over 1400 meters, where the betting has number 4 Twilight Bay at 7-2. They got number 8 D-Day at around 4-1, and number 1 Mistress Rebecca at 9-2. I'm going to go straight into my selection, which is going to be number 4 Twilight Bay. And the reason being, the career best has been recorded over the 1400 meter trip. A horse who tends to take a little bit of a hold early on, races a little bit too freely. So I think dropping back to the 1400, the career best second to Mississippi Spice, led on that occasion, second best, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to break the maiden jail. So in race number 1, I am going to go with number 4 Twilight Bay, and I think 7-2 is a decent price. Second, I'm going to go with number 1, which is Mistress Rebecca. The form lines have been franked, and with just 54 minus the 2.5 kilograms being an open maiden is going to be my second selection. After that, number 8 D-Day, a professional maiden having the 17th run. Cole Dickin knows this like the back of his hand, and that'll be my third selection. But I think number 4 Twilight Bay could take some beating in this contest. Last time over the 1600, faded right out of it, and so too the prior event over 1800. So I think the master stroke could be coming back to the 1400 meter mark, and race number 1, night racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville, number 4 Twilight Bay to beat numbers 1 and 8. Welcome back as we move on to race number 2, Hollywoodbets Greyville on the poly track, 1400 meters. And I'm going to go straight into the meat of it and give you my selections. 4-1 currently as we talk on Wednesday morning. Number 4, Princess Palace, making the poly debut. This is a runner who's taken on stronger in the past. If you look at the penultimate 3 runs, average merit rating an 86 behind Care Forgot. That form line's been franked. Ran 4th behind Karari Rose over 1400 meters at an average rating of an 80. And then last time out, the average rating was a 77. Has dropped down to a 76 in the ratings. I would have liked to have seen Princess Palace maybe 2 points lower in the ratings, but I think they've found the ideal opportunity to get that next victory. If number 4 Princess Palace takes to the poly track, I believe this could be her day to get that second win. Number 6, Spirited Flight. Number 1, the Queen Bee. They're horses who've done well. And then after that, number 7, Purple Flower, who is the current 3-1 favorite. There's a bit of Colorado Creek form lines to work with. Of course, number 1, the Queen Bee. Number 3, Perfect Trust. Had it been a 1200 meter, I would have been a little bit more confident. Shows the pace. And then a horse like numbers 5, Aspostaki, and number 6, Spirited Flight. But when it comes down to selections, I'm going to go straight head on. Number 4, Princess Palace. I believe 4-1 could be the value, and I think this horse will start a little bit shorter, and then after that, you be the judge for second, third, and fourth. Next up will be race number 3, and this is over 1400 meters, due off at 17:55, and that's when the sun will just start to be setting in and the lights will be lighting up. And Hollywoodbets Greyville, we know, absolutely lovely night racing. Really looking forward to the Friday meeting. And I think I've found value. And for you, the punter who has followed my selections in the past before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Ibuto, number 7. We've tipped this horse on a couple of occasions, and we've got the money at 25-1, at 12 and 14-1, and he's done us a big favor. He's paid a lot of the school fees, number 7, Ibuto. He is a 6-time winner on the poly, a 7-time winner overall. His last 2 runs have been on the turf, a little bit below par. He's a horse that on his day, he could be very effective. So when he comes to the course, when he beat Rosh Kadesh at 25-1, we liked him. Atindiwe Mgutwa knows him exceptionally well. 2 wins course and distance and 6 wins on the poly track. I think at around 16-1, once again we'll go with the value. If you followed him when we've selected him, you'll be way in front with number 70 Buto. And I just feel this big, strong individual could get that 8th victory. So 16-1, that won't be the starting price. He will definitely start around about 7-8-1. I say definitely because I'll be having a nice little each-way wager. Then, you'll all remember last time, Burning Man, I made the value selection on course at 33-1. And it came through to fruition. Shortened down 12-1 from 33-1, and on that occasion, absolutely obliterated the opposition. Was given quite a hefty penalty, went up to an 81, but that's where Rachel Benica comes into the play. She'll take the 1.5 kilograms off, and this is going to be a huge runner. So between number 1, Burning Man, and number 70, Buto, I think that's where your winner's going to come from. Number 4, Give Me the Good Life, an improving 3-year-old. That'll be into my 3rd selection. And then you've got to respect number 3, Joshua Hot Snake. Number 6, My Boy Lollipop. It'll be quite interesting. A horse who pulled his flank muscle in his penultimate run, had a long layoff, and prior to that was reported as short. Only had 1 run on the poly, and that was the day he was reported short. So I'm not sure if it was the poly track or he just didn't pull up well on the day. He's obviously a horse who's got a few issues. So I'm still on the fence with number 6, My Boy Lollipop, out the maidens. But looking at this race, for me the value is with number 70, Buto at 16-1 at the time of recording to beat number 1, Burning Man, and number 4, Give Me the Good Life. Right, now we move on to race number 4, which is over 1,600 meters. And when it comes to race number 4, I'm going to get straight to the jugular and give you my selections, and then you can decide what you are going to do with those selections. So put on the spot, I'm going to go with number 6, which is Sundance Kid, who will be ridden by Rachel Benica. And that golden 1.5 kilograms off the back, I think could seal the deal on this occasion. A horse who's been there or thereabouts, and a horse who's got the ability to get back into the winner's enclosure after 331 days off the track. More importantly, 3 of the 4 wins have been recorded on the poly, and a lethal course and distance record. 3 runs, 2 wins, and a 3rd. My second selection from that same Capsaicin form line is going to be number 5, which is Officer in Command at around 5-1. The Capsaicin form line, very prominent here. Number 8, Last One Standing. That'll be my 3rd selection. So I'm going to go number 6, Sundance Kid at 7-1. To beat number 5, Officer in Command, who is currently trading at 5-1. Number 8, Last One Standing, who did finish ahead of both of them on that occasion. So you have to give this individual a lively chance. And these are going to be my top 3 selections. Once you look beyond these runners, you've got horses like number 1, Lindbergh, who I would prefer over a furlong short. I'd be a little bit more confident being the front-running type. And then after that, 9, Winter Games, and number 10, Royal Swan Master. But my selections, as it stands at this very early time of recording, 6 from 5 and 8. Stepping into the ring for race number 5, and in this event it'll be run over 2,000 meters, and at the early time of recording on Wednesday morning, I think I might have just found some value at around 10-1. I have got a few reservations, but however, you can't get burnt with a little each-way wager. The form's been good of late, so the guys should have some money in their pocket if they've been following. And this horse, number 5, Kai Mai, from the Tinny Prinsloo stable, jumps off the page when it comes down to the merit ratings. Was a 104 at a stage, is now racing off a 78. Was running in a 104 behind Eiffel Tower. In behind these runners, he's been running in 96s, 95s. The last 3 runs haven't been bad runs. My only slight concern is the poly track. was only had one run on the poly. Not a bad run. 3.3 lengths behind Etiquette. Had it been the turf of this rating, I would have said let's climb into the 10-1. I'm a little bit tentative because of the poly track, but let's give KwaZulu-Natal the benefit of the doubt. The 2,000 meter trip, if it was a little bit shorter, maybe a 17 or an 1800, I would have been a little bit more confident. But you know what? You've got to take the bull by the horns in this game, and you just got to go with your gut feel. So 10-1 for me, the grade the non-platina number 5, KwaZulu-Natal, that is going to be my value selection. The Mikado number 6, another horse who's yet to win on the poly, but has run a second. And I think this could be the horse that number 5, KwaZulu-Natal, has most to fear from. Once you look beyond these two runners, number 8, Rodriguez, and even a horse like number 1, Blazing Light, who seems to be a poly specialist. Well, in fact, not seems to be, is a poly specialist. All 4 victories have been recorded on the poly, and from that number 1 draw will be a player. But I'm a merit ratings man, and this being a class 4 over 2,000 meters, from a 104 down to a 78. The next highest achiever in the race, I think, was an 86, who got to an 86, and that was the Mikado, and that's the improver in the pack. So if you're looking for the improver, you go with number 6, the Mikado. But a 10-1, number 5, KwaZulu-Natal. I close my eyes, I close my book, and I'm having a little bit of an each-way wager. Throw this one into your swingers, exactors, and all the play. So, throwing into the deep end for race number 6, and we're going to take a flyer here, and we're going to go with the horse that we fancied at a little bit of an each-way value proposition last time out, and the horse's name is B52, number 7 on the card, a 2-time winner, course and distance winner, and 2 wins over the distance. At this point in time, trading at around 7-1, I think this is a horse who's going to come on leaps and bounds. And when you look at the best weighted column, being a C stakes, B52 is not too far off them. However, number 2, Yaron After, with the 4 kgs off the back, does come in very, very well weighted. She is a mare, and this is a gelding, the Lancaster Bomber, with 61.5 kilograms. So the weight difference, 52, that could be in the favor of number 2, Yaron After, the best weighted runner. But I'm going to stick with number 7, B52 to win. From number 2, Yaron After, number 6, Trippy T. And then if you have a look at a horse called Ultra Quick, number 9. Once upon a time was a 99, so I'm not going to read too much into the best weighted column. Has won on the poly. Distance-wise, yet to win over the trip, but I think a horse on the day, if deciding to gallop, being a 3-time winner, will certainly make them pick up their hooves. But when it comes down to the selection part of things, I'm going to go with numbers 7, B52, to beat the well-weighted number 2, Yaron After. Throw in number 6, Trippy T. Even a horse like number 3, Griffin Park. And number 9, Ultra Quick. But outright, once again, we're looking outside the box. Number 7, B52. And hopefully after this event, this horse could end up in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd box. 2 hurdles left to negotiate at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Friday evening, night race meeting. And race number 7, I'm going to go straight to my first selection, which is number 9, She's a Machine. And I just get the feeling that this is a horse who's going to be much more effective dropping back to the 1400. She has tried the 1600 on a couple of occasions and just seemed to have lost the way slightly. After the last couple of runs, has only been dropped a point. A little bit of a concern for me. I would have liked to have seen She's a Machine drop a little bit more in the ratings. However, this is a horse who came to the course first time out, and the word was unbeatable. The connections came here, the money was down, and Seanville produced the goods. Distance-wise, unbeaten 1 from 1 over the 1400 meter trip, and I'm going to take a chance the 9. My second selection is going to be number 10, Green Light All the Way. Here's a runner who was dropped 1 point for being beaten just under 6.6 lengths last time. It was 5.7 lengths to be exact. and I think this is a horse who, despite dropping to the 1400, could certainly be in the vanguard. Number 5, Prom Queen, could be the joker in the pack, with JC Bottas taking the 4 kgs off. And then after that, horses like 1 Grey Fantasy, and even number 3 Mauritania, if deciding to run. This is a horse who has got ability, and we did tip this horse once upon a time at 33 to 1 when she came through. So for the pick 6 players and those players playing the exotics, throw in number 3 Mauritania. But to be brief, sharp, and to the point, 9 to beat 10, and then I'm going to go 5 and perhaps number 1. So I'm going the younger horses, and don't leave out number 7, Way to Burn. This is another runner who's won twice on the poly, so loves the poly track and could be there in the winner's enclosure when it comes down to the finishing post. Well, thanks to all the viewers for joining us for all the previews as we preview the 8th and final race, which is the Hollywoodbets Bright Future Class 4 event over 1400 meters. And when looking at the betting, number 11, Stars in Heaven, is your current 4 to 1 favorite. And we are recording very, very early. We're recording on Wednesday morning for the Friday show. So take note of all the adjustments and the official betting changes, etc. I'm going to go straight to my first selection, which is going to be number 3, Comedy Club. And this is a horse who's on the improve. I think the 4 kgs off the back, dropped a point last time out. And Xolisa Mbuto has done us a few good turns in recent times. So I'm going to go number 3, Comedy Club. Not with a great degree of confidence, because we've got an 8-time winner, number 2, Winter Waves, who's absolutely lethal over the course and distance, and Atundiwe Ngutwa knows how to get a tune out of this individual. Talking about number 11, Stars in Heaven, the current 4 to 1 favorite, hat-trick seeking, and the last 2 wins have been very impressive. Really turns it on, has gone up to an 81 in the ratings, and that 11 draw over the 1400 meters, just going to be ridden cold and perhaps get into a nice position. If things map out, could certainly get the hat-trick. Number 10, Kings Island. Well, this is the horse last time out, was the value. Shortened 14 to 1, down 7 and 8 to 1, and absolutely motored on by. There was a trainer question on that occasion, but the horse came through with flying colours. And we know from day one, he's been a very disappointing horse. His followers have been frustrated. But when he pops up, we backed him at 16 to 1 when he beat Porfirio. We just thought that he could come through and run a big race. So number 10, Kings Island, he's a horse who's done us a good turn in the past. So don't let him run loose. Number 2, Winter Waves, I've touched on. And then number 4, Heaven's Will. I know Dee's liked this a lot last time out. Shortened 6 to 1, down 7 to 2. Rachel Bennica stays aboard. Minus 1 point for the last run, but the 1.5 from Rachel Bennica could be the deciding factor in race number 8. But when it comes down to the selection part of it, I'm in between numbers 2 and 3. Number 2, Winter Waves, and number 3, Comedy Club. Number 4, Heaven's Will, could provide the value. And number 10, Kings Island. And number 11, Stars in Heaven. They're all horses who seem to really enjoy the poly. In fact, Kings Island's won all 3 of the races on the poly track. Dropping to the 1400 meter trip should be no issue. But looking at race 8, you be the judge. I've given you the numbers, but those all horses that I've talked about, they all live wires, and I wouldn't want to put my neck on the line. Throughout the show, we found a couple of outsiders at decent prices, and hopefully going into race number 8, you'll be playing for free. To you, the viewer, the valued customer, the punter, the owner, trainer, whatever part of the sport you're involved in, best of luck, be safe, and we'll catch you hopefully in the winner's enclosure.